We start with breaking news out of France. There has been a robbery at the world-famous Louvre Museum in Paris. Well, let's cross live to the city and to our correspondent, Hugh Schofield. And Hugh, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that this news has just broken. It happened only a couple of hours ago. Three men, it seems, broke into the Louvre Museum after it had opened. It wasn't an overnight robbery. It was when there were people in the museum. About 9:30 this happened. They broke in on the Seine River side of the museum using a goods lift. Now, it's not clear to me whether this goods lift was inside a building or whether it was on the outside of the building, temporarily installed because there's renovation work there. In any case, they used this lift to go up to the first floor. There, broke in to the Apollo Gallery, breaking through the windows, maybe using the small chainsaws which they had to break in. And then in this Apollo Gallery, which is a very ornate gallery containing what remains of the French crown jewels, they robbed a number of these items of jewellery. One newspaper is saying 9 items, but that's not being confirmed. They then very quickly got out, down the lift presumably, and onto 2 scooters, or 1 scooter, scooters in any case, and were seen making a way down towards the south of Paris and out on the motorway that way, towards the motorway that leads out of Paris that way. So that's what we know. It is, of course, an enormously bad bit of news for the Louvre Gallery and a very dramatic, dramatic event.
You mentioned crown jewels. Do we know what kind of jewels were in this room?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I've done a quick bit of research, and you know, there were French crown jewels just as there were British crown jewels, and most of them were broken up after the revolution, disappeared. But you know, after the revolution, there were other monarchies and empires in France, and they accumulated bits of jewellery as well. A lot of them were sold off and broken off, so it's not like it was like the British crown jewels, but there were a number of very, very valuable items of jewellery there, particularly ones belonging to the Empress Eugénie, who was the wife of Napoleon III, who ruled France between 1850 and 1870. Among those items are some which are quite well known, with diamonds and other items of jewellery in them, diadems and a crown and so on. And if those have gone, then that is a big deal.
Do we know what kind of security was in place at the Louvre when this happened?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying that, you know, the place is an extremely elaborate system of protection. I mean, there are guards there and electronic alarms, and I'm sure all sorts of things. It's interesting that the break-in happened, though, not overnight, which is when most of these robberies take place. You know, robbers infiltrating under the cover of night and so on. This was brazen. This was when there were people about. This is when it had opened. But I guess they imagined they could do it sufficiently quickly that they could get in and out before being stopped. And I suppose that this, well, I imagine, but I'm speculating here that this renovation work might have allowed them access that they would not otherwise have been able to have if they could get up on a special lift that was there. But all this remains to be elucidated. We need to find out the value of the haul, what exactly has gone, whether it is indeed these jewels from the Emperor Eugénie's collection, how much that is worth, and how they got in. We just don't know. But it's certainly, in my recollection, the biggest, well, the most dramatic break-in at the Louvre that there's been. I can't recall any other like this.
And of course, the investigation is underway by the authorities as well. Hugh Schofield, thank you for bringing us up to date there from Paris.